Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Cure for the Common Game. Today, I'm going to talk about one card, and I know that's a little bit different. Um, it's, I don't know. I guess I may be reverting to my 100 Days of Magic thing, but the Golgothian Silex. Okay, I want to talk about what it is, then I want to talk about why you care. Um, Back in the day, in the early expansions, there was Arabian Nights had City in a Bottle. Antiquities had Golgothian Silex, and I think they didn't do it again until Homelands, um, to where it was an artifact that you could nuke all cards from that expansion. So, now this has been brought to the spotlight here lately because I'm sure y'all have seen the Rudy um, video where the guy tried to buy them out and then he didn't, but he took enough off the market to affect the price a little bit. So anyway, it's whatever. Um, I was at my local LGS and I was talking with the owner there and just kind of looking through some cards and I run across he had a Silex and I was explaining it to him. So it just got me to thinking. It got me to thinking. This is generally considered a worthless commander card, or well, just a worthless card in general. Period. End of story. Um, but that's not exactly so. Granted, the actual Oracle text on it is uh, each player sacrifices all cards originally printed in the Antiquities expansion. Because you see, Black Border Magic can't care about what expansion, what set a card is from, because they treat all giant growths as the same giant growth. It doesn't matter if it's Alpha or Ice Age. A giant growth, giant growth. And so back then it mattered, but now they have had to errata it to all cards originally printed in Antiquities. So what this means is every card that has come from that set, a lot of these cards see play. Now, let's go through some of them. I was gonna get together the cards and slide them through and show you, but quite frankly, I don't have a lot of these. Argivian Archaeologist. This will destroy. Now, these first four are obvious cards that were never reprinted. The Archaeologist, the Candelabra of Tonos. I don't know. There's not a Candelabra in my local play group, so Mishra's Workshop, not one of those either. Power Artifact. But now, here's some things that have been reprinted, and we do all face a lot. Ashnod's Altar. Yeah, this destroys all copies of Ashnod's Altar. Circle of Protection Artifacts. While not a lot of folks play that, I don't understand why, because we all love our artifacts. And Energy Flux. Energy Flux is one of the most underrated blue cards there are. It was reprinted. I know it was in Revised. It was probably in 4th edition too. It's just a 3-mana blue enchantment. It says all artifacts require an upkeep cost of 2. It's a powerhouse card. Felden's Cane. Now, granted, Felden's Cane and Strip Mine, it kind of doesn't do any good to make them sacrifice it because they'll just use them. That's fine. Ivory Tower. This gets you out of that. Millstone. Mishra's Factory. What about Ornithopter? Yeah, Ornithopter originally came from Antiquities. This will destroy Ornithopter. Now, I know, it's 4 mana and then 1 later to kill a 0-drop, but I don't know. Triskelion. Titania's Song. Now, Titania's Song is another one that doesn't... I think I play it, Titania's Song, a little bit. It's the Green March of the Machines. The original Green March of the Machines. I use it in a lot of fight-heavy decks where I can have my creatures double as artifact destruction. because, Titania Song, your Soul Ring's now a creature, rar, eat it. But quite frankly, green's not really hurting for artifact destruction anyway, so. But the big ones, the big cards that this gets rid of, and that for just the sole purpose, I don't understand why it's not played in more formats. Urzatron. Urza's Mine, Urza's Tower, and Urza's Power Plant. Originally from Antiquities, Golgothian Silex kills them all. Yeah, I know that Tron is kind of a big thing in Modern, but kind of nowhere else. It's hard to assemble Tron in Commander, obviously. It can be done, but we have access to so much other ramp, it's kind of, But anyway, long story short, I believe there's no such thing as a useless card. Every card has its useful. And hey, if your playgroup plays with Silver Border, there's some really fun things there because I believe you can change expansion symbols. One of the cards you can change expansion symbols to whatever you want. Can't remember. From their earliest educations, the brothers had known that no human contrivance, I don't know, my Tennessee showing y'all, could stand against the true masters of Domina. Now, I know there was a thing, Dominara and Domina, two different things. I can't tell you what Domina is. But anyway, I thought I would just share that with you. Just random thoughts of a random scrub like me. I mean, I don't. I know this is probably one that was best to listen to because you're probably pretty tired of looking at the Golgothian Silex. But either way, I know the Silex. Let's talk a little bit about the story because Urza had gotten the Silex, through second, third, fourth hand, and he was at the final battle, and it was Urza versus Mishra, and Mishra's forces were coming over. He was more machine than man at this point, and everybody kind of knew this was the final battle. This was it. If I'm remembering correctly, it was on the island of Argoth, and Urza just sat down because when he got the bowl, he was told to fill it with memories from the land. Now, Urza had been, by that point, artificer, wizard, politician. He had done all kinds of things. So he had been a lot of places, had a lot of mana experience to draw from. So he sits down in the middle of this battle and just puts the bowl in his lap and fills it with memories from the land. Now, what he didn't know is this was a nuclear bomb, essentially. This act right here ended that war, obviously. It sunk the island continent of Argoth. And pretty much this is why Green doesn't like artifacts. Is because, this was kind of an artifact war. Urza was, he was a bad good guy. His end goal was noble, but, he just did what he had to do to get there. So it also affected the climate of the world, bringing about the Ice Age. It was one of probably the pinnacle events in Dominaria history. And we learned when we went back in the actual set Dominaria, what was it, last year, year before, something like that? And we learned, our heroes are that we've been following are there, and they run into Karn. Well, now, by the way, Karn originally, his spark ignited because he had Urza's head in his chest when he was on the Weatherlight, and it became the legacy weapon. And it, yeah, see, I mean, everything just starts snowballing from that point. But we find Karn on Dominaria digging up the ground, looking for this card, looking for the Golgothian Silex. So, and by the end of that story, the reason why Karn wants it is because he knew that Daddy Urza used this to get all the Phyrexians off of Dominaria, thousands of years ago. And so he was going to find it, take it back to Mirrodin, I guess now it's New Phyrexia, and use it there because, it works so well for Urza. Now, that's that's a plant. I really would have thought that we would have gone to New Phyrexia by now, but evidently that's going to be because since Dominaria, of course, we had the 3 Ravnica sets, ending with War of the Spark. We went to Eldraine. I think now we're going to go to, Theros, and then this Behemoth Lair thing, and then we're going to Zendikar again. So, at some point in time, we're going to hit back to Mirrodin. It's been quite a ways since Mirrodin. We went through Innistrad, Ravnica, Theros, Khans, Zendikar again, Innistrad again, Kaladesh, Amonkhet, Ixalan, Dominaria, Ravnica, and Eldraine. So it's been a long time since we've been to Mirrodin. But you got to fix Mirrodin. We can't have it bust the format. But anyway, it's Golgothian Silex, definitely a key piece of the story. I'm excited to see what the next iteration of Golgothian Silex does. Now, I'm sure when we get there to New Phyrexia and Karn has it, I'm sure he'll use it. I know it can't be called Golgothian Silex, but I'm interested to see as to what this will do, and I'm going to bet it's legendary. I'm going to bet the new version of this card is legendary. So, Karn's got it. He's chilling with it. Although we don't really know that all this could be happening at the same time, because we know that Ixalan and Dominaria happened at the same point in time. What Jace was going through on Ixalan was happening at the same time the rest of the Gatewatch was going through on Dominaria. So, anyway, that's all I've got for today. I've rambled. Like I said, this would have been a great podcast topic or a great just, listen to it in the background. A little bit of Ortho story, a little bit of, utility here, but I do appreciate y'all watching. Y'all let me know what you think, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.